You let her die, Shiva whispered. You all let her die when she was right in front of you, he shouted at the audience. When he got up and whipped around to Sati's mother, Daksha met his angry gaze. You let your own daughter kill herself. She would not have died if you were not her husband. Her death was inevitable. I would never let her live with a leader of devils, Daksha hissed. He looked at her in disbelief. His duty, something he could not change, was responsible for the death of his wife, the only thing that gave him joy in this world. He may not be able to bring Sati back. However, he can bring justice to his wife. Shiva created 2 demons with a swish of his wrists. His fury told him what needed to be done. They decapitated Daksha in a heartbeat. Gods began fleeing because they knew the ceremony was next. As the demons rampaged through the decorations and the gazebo, the fire burned up the debris, until there was nothing left but a gigantic fire. A god wallowing in despair knelt beside the flame. He fought temptation to join his Sati, knowing he still had his duties to fulfill. Shavi walked away from the mess, not knowing how to find his lost happiness, or how to determine if anything in this situation had been fair to anyone in it. The fall of Lucifer. Lucifer could not have been more excited. His lord had begun creating the new world, introducing extravagant animals and plants of all shapes and sizes to the empty planet. What a beautiful world this is going to be! Lucifer stared down at the vast blue oceans and the lush land from the clouds of heaven. Heaven was a delicate place. It was secured on a layer of clouds, and the beams of sunlight always landed on it. The light shone down on the young planet, allowing the colors of the landscape to flourish. It was peaceful, a perfect equilibrium between animals and land that Lucifer had the chance to contribute to. As one of the Lord's angels, he could not have been more grateful. Hey, what's up, Lucifer? A voice said from behind him. It was his good friend Asmos. He sat beside Lucifer, stretching his white angel wings into the golden sunlight. Just looking down at this beautiful planet. It deserves everything in the universe. I think so, too, Asmos murmured, looking at his hands. What's wrong? Lucifer asked, turning his attention to his friend. Asmos swished around the fluffy clouds worriedly. I'm afraid I'm questioning one of the Lord's decisions. He turned his golden eyes to the world. Have you heard of it? Lucifer shook his head. The Lord has decided to create humans. Lucifer stared blankly, not knowing what he was feeling. It was a surge of a strong emotion, but it was quickly nulled. But he said he was going to consult with me first. Did he not acknowledge the possible warnings? Lucifer got up to stand on the light, fluffy clouds. The humans are going to destroy the planet. This beautiful planet. How is it to defend itself against those sinful beasts? Hush! Someone may hear you, Asmos whispered, turning to Lucifer. His face was weary, an uncommon look on an angel. I hope someone does, Lucifer said in a quiet, fierce voice. He took a deep breath, looking out at the heavens. I just don't want the world to be treated in an unjust, careless manner. Humans were created in such a rush. They still need to be perfected. Asmos got up and stood beside Lucifer, gently nudging him with his wing. You could just ask him about it. I'm sure he would listen. Lucifer looked across the beautiful heavens. Yes, he paused as he stretched his golden wings. I'll go right now, before it's too late. Tell everyone to meet at our Lord's throne. By everyone, he meant his closest friends. They had been worried about humans being introduced to the world as well. They would want to know the fate of the new world right away. Good luck, Lucifer. May you succeed, Asmos said as he flew off into the clouds. Lucifer now bowed on one knee in front of the Holy Lord himself. The Lord was always very busy. Lucifer had no idea how he was able to meet with him so quickly. Rise, Angel Lucifer. I believe you have come to address me on the creation of humans. Lucifer stood with a bowed head, unable to look at the sheer amount of light coming from the Lord. Yes, your holiness. I do not believe they are ready to be introduced just yet. Their complex structure still has some flaws to be corrected. If we took some more time to fix them, we can guarantee that they will never be tempted into sinning. The Holy Lord did not speak for a few moments. Very well. We will spend a few more days until they will certainly live up to our holy standards. Dismissed. Lucifer walked away from the Lord, and from behind a cloud, his friends came to celebrate. He smiled proudly. You actually did it, one cheered. We're all so proud of you, Lucifer. Asmos greeted Lucifer with a hug. There were smiles and cheers all around. The beautiful world would stay peaceful. Pride? The Holy Lord roared. Peering before them, all of their smiles dropped. They had committed a sin. I cannot comprehend how my own angels could betray me like this. Forget what I said. Humans are to be set upon the land before the sun sets on it. My holiness, you must forgive us. You cannot introduce humans to the new world. It will be a mistake, Lucifer argued, his wings flaring up defiantly. How dare you defy me? Pride and wrath must be punished. You and all of your friends, be gone. What that meant, Lucifer and his followers could only begin to imagine. The Holy Lord pointed fiercely at them. Their halos shattered, and every feather on their wings were set on fire. This sent them hurtling down to the ground. Except as they came closer and closer to the ground, it opened up, revealing a black, burning pit. As the angels fell into the underworld, their screams amplified. Lucifer grabbed onto the edge of the pit wall. His golden feathers were now soiled with black charcoal. He began climbing up the wall, his wings still burning. Lucifer froze. An angel came down to the edge of the pit. Angel David began covering up the gap in the ground. Help, David, please, Lucifer shouted up. David shook his head, his face stoic. You, an angel, has committed a sin. You must be bound to hell so you will not be able to harm or corrupt the life on this planet. It's too late for that. The humans will become corrupt on their own and harm this planet. The opening was half closed. For how long will I be here? 1,000 years, you corrupt beast. Then we shall throw you in a lake of fire. You will be known as Satan, the sinning devil, not the holy morning star. How is that fair? Lucifer asked, but to no one. The hole closed, and the only light came from the burning depths of the underworld. His muscles burned. He had to let go. Was this internal torture equal to the small act of pride? There would be no justice for the fallen angel. The world would never be fair to anyone, not angels, and soon to humans. The life on the planet would not be fair to the landscape either. Nothing would ever be free from the injustices of the humans, not even the humans themselves. Apophis. A man sat moodily on the dusty steps of a pyramid. While the pyramid wasn't completed, it was just being started. The workers were on their short break, almost hoping to be fired from their hard labor they were forced to do. The desert was a harsh place, especially because of the sun. The man looked angrily up at it. His name was Apophis, and he had just been fired from being the sun god. Apparently his opinions on duality and order weren't good, and Rouges were allowing him to become the new sun god. Someone had to give an alternate opinion. Someone had to represent the alternate views of the people. Someone had to be Ra's arch-nemesis, and that someone was Apophis. Ra was always such a goody two-shoes, and the way he acted all cocky when he got the position as sun god, Apophis wanted to scream. Hey buddy, can you move? We're building here, a worker asked. Their 10-minute break ended, and their 5-day shift began. Oh wait, you're Apophis. Dude, I'm a huge fan. Thanks. I heard about the news. I'm sorry about that. It didn't sound just. What do you mean? Apophis said, standing up and looking at the worker. Well, I heard the gods were calling you a huge snake, and that they didn't want to deal with you anymore, so they just got rid of you. But you're the sun god, you did your job, a hard one at that, and were fired for an unpopular opinion, the worker explained as he began placing bricks. I'd be ticked. I would do something about it, like making his job as hard as possible. I swear he's making that sun way too hot on purpose. Thanks for the idea, Apophis said with a scheming grin. Hey, the pyramid looks great, by the way. Good luck. They waved to each other, and then Apophis was on his way. He would get justice. He would protest and get his job back. He was Apophis, the Egyptian sun god. He couldn't just become the god of something else. Apophis wouldn't be able to follow Ra during the day, knowing the world needed the sun to survive. Instead, he would follow Ra as he traveled through the underworld. As a greater being, it was easy to slip into the underworld. The sun completely crossed over the horizon, and Apophis jumped into the underworld. He landed directly onto Ra. What? Sorry about that. Ra immediately got up and began running to the other side of the underworld, which was 12 hours away by running. He held the sun, now lightly glowing and the size of a melon, under his arm. Apophis got up and began running after him, still in shape from doing this run every single night. It was a 24-hour job. What do you want? Ra asked, not looking at Apophis. Here to compliment me on my new job? Apophis tripped him with a swift kick and kept on running. Nope, just here to take back what's mine. Dude, step off. I got this job fair and square. Ra was obviously out of breath from the fall. What experience do you have at being a sun god? You're out of breath already. He was sure Ra would trip him back, but Ra seemed to be trying to conserve energy for the next run. Apophis began passing him, sprinting. Stop attacking me already. Just go home. I'm going to be the sun god as long as the sun stays in the sky. Apophis looked back at Ra and looked down at the sun, and then directly into Ra's eyes. Apophis's smile said it all. No! Apophis slowed down to Ra's speed and kept trying to steal the sun. I have way more experience. Please, give it to me. No, stop. Ra was slightly taller, allowing him to hold the sun above his head so Apophis couldn't reach it. This went on for several months. Night after night, Apophis would taunt and attack Ra, trying to get the sun and his job back, except for one night when Ra finally snapped. You think the rest of the gods even care about you? Being the sun god is an isolating position. Having to work all the time. They've probably forgotten about you like they've forgotten about me, Apophis hissed. Ra then proceeded to turn into a giant cat, and Apophis in reaction turned into a gigantic serpent. You truly are a snake. They fought with claws and teeth. Ra was now incredibly athletic, finally being conditioned from the hours of running. He was more agile, but Apophis was still more experienced. When Apophis wrapped around Ra, both gods thought the fight was over, until Ra had an idea. He flexed his claws, giving him the ability to cut through Apophis's scales. It was lights out for Apophis. He died quickly from his wounds. Even those who strive for justice don't reach it, and nobody cares. It's hard to ever see a hero as a villain.